There isn't enough fucking stuff in the earth to make that many roads and cars and office buildings for all the Chinese and Indians and whoever else in the world wants to have it. The game is up. It's over. It doesn't matter what their GDP is or what the demand is. It's supply inflexible. There's only
I
so much stuff.
understand. Yeah, yeah, I know. But the argument you got to make, though, is if that's true as we go forward, like 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, those problems become brick walls. But they're too far off for people to relate to them, and so that's the real problem. And the real problem is too, is the way it's going to crash isn't going to be as simple as like everybody just crashes. I mean, no, their lifestyle is going to still get better while ours gets worse. We're going to become the organism being parasited on. We're going to be the ones eat. They're going to start eating us.
Well,
I mean, we've been eating their labor for years, for decades, and now they're going to start, eating our lifestyle.
Right, but
by consuming, the resources we want.
Right, but yeah, and I agree. I don't think it'll be like, tomorrow we go to the store and there's food on the shelves, and the day after tomorrow we go to the store and there's no food. However, what we saw in 2008 might be similar to what is to come. That might have just been the prelude. I think, though, that yeah, we're not even in the middle part, or let alone the end part of the end, but I do think we're in the beginning part of the end. You saw the other day that Russia, now it's because of the forest fires, so they say that Russia has banned all wheat exports. That type of news story, I think, is going to become more and more frequent. Oil embargoes, a ban on oil exports for the countries that have oil because they need it just to satisfy the needs of their own population. The countries that have food, wheat, corn, etc., keeping it for themselves while others go hungry. I think you'll start to see stories like that increasing in the daily news. So
what's the point of that video that guy's playing with the guy throwing the pizza on the roof? I mean, why? Is there something to that? Is there a joke there or something? I mean, I just don't get that one at all. I mean, why just film a guy, I don't know, doing something stupid?
That's from a pretty cool television show called Breaking Bad. It's kind of an inside joke, but
Okay.
he's
It's a TV
he's
show.
pissed
Never.
off. He gets pissed off at his wife, and he throws a pizza on the roof. You got to see the show.
Yeah, never mind. I mean, that ain't gonna happen. Anyway, okay, thank you. Your mic could probably be a little louder.
Yeah, it's pretty low there, so.
Okay, I'll work on that, and meanwhile somebody else can talk.
So what you guys are generally talking about is we in the first world no longer being a labor aristocracy due to benefiting from the work that's going on in the third world.
Yeah, well, we don't own that work anymore. We're losing ownership of it. See, initially we invested in China, so we built China. We built their industry. We built it all, and so we were making tons of money off of the Chinese, and we're bringing the money back here, and the rich people in New York would spend their money, and then the rest of us all get jobs because the rich people in New York spend their money, and so we were all living pretty good because a bunch of money we were all making off the Chinese. And then, but now we're not going to make the money off the Chinese anymore. The rich people here aren't going to make money off the Chinese anymore because the Chinese own the Chinese now. They figured out how to own their own people. And so they don't need us anymore. They don't need our investment anymore. They got their own fucking money. And so they can buy our country now. They can buy our businesses now. And so then they can sell directly into our market with an American business that they buy. And, they don't need us as middlemen anymore. So, all of a sudden, we're not doing anything. We're not making anything. And we're not going to be buying anything. We're going to be just out of business.
Well, one of the things that Bandit said that we're slaves to China because they have so much invested in us. Well, that's somewhat of a misnomer. It's not that we're slaves and the economy would collapse. We'd fill that void. If they pulled out of bonds, we'd fill that void by raising bond interest, and corporations would gobble them up. Now we take a loss, but how much of a loss, would that be? It wouldn't be as much as most people think. So it's not as
Well,
our economy.
it will be once we can't give. We're right now. The only reason why bond prices are still low is because we're basically buying our own bonds. Okay, we're using bonds to get the banker bailout. Okay, most of the banker bailout you haven't even heard about yet, because what it was a transfer of bad paper.
Sub was talking about the Greek issue with their bond rates, but it would be a little bit different with the United States.
Yeah, I guess I could.
All right, he's reloading. Sub, I think it's a little different with the United States because the full faith and backing of the United States bonds is different than a Greek bond. And a lot of countries have actually defaulted on those in the past. The United States has never ever defaulted on those, so that's why it makes it such a great investment. Even in these tough times. Why do you think the Chinese are so invested in us? I mean, it's a good point, but I think it's mitigated by what I just pointed out.
Yeah, but didn't the Chinese, I think it was either last week or 2 weeks ago, they said that they were going to cut back on, bond auctions? I seem to remember
Yeah,
reading
they
that.
did.
And so what we've got is that, this madman, Ben Bernanke at the Federal Reserve, monetizing the debt. His buddy over there, little Timmy Geithner, printing up the bonds and him buying it, basically just writing checks to ourselves. So, I mean, this just seems like a colossal Ponzi scheme that, I don't know how long it's going to go. I can't tell you when it's going to collapse, but I'm pretty sure, the writing's on the wall. It's going to fail at some point. And it'll be like a mad rush to the door.
Yes. Sorry. I had to reload the room, but man, it takes a while to get back in here. Anyway.
You're good.
Yeah, I can hear you, Gary.
You're good, Gary. Gary, you seem to have taken on a different character lately. You seem a bit softer. And you're wearing pastels to boot.
Yeah, and tidy whities. But whatever. That's the way it works. Sometimes you're, and then sometimes you're not. But whatever. Yeah, whatever. I've been pretty hostile tonight, actually, but that was earlier.
I missed it. Sub was making some good points.
Guitar music guy, shut the fuck up, huh? You really don't want to hear that shit. Come on. Thank you. No, come on. Turn your mic off. Guitar guy. No, we really just don't care. No, we really just don't care. Come on, turn it off. Alright, well, I want to kick you then. Have a nice night.
Is Chris Christie up for a vote this November in your neck of the woods?
Can't be yet. I mean, yeah, they usually give him 4 years, not 2. Yeah. No, we just elected this stupid fucking cunt. So we're stuck with him for 6 years, I think. I think the governor's 6 years here.
Where did you like, Gary?
Vermont or New Hampshire?
Yeah, well, they really have all been pretty bad. We only had like one, we haven't had. Yeah, well, look, I mean, the last guy, Corzine, he's one of these millionaire Democrats. So, they're always fail, because they're fakes, So they're too compromisey. But I mean, I liked him better than these tax cuts. The New Jersey got ruined because they just gave away everything to the rich. I mean, they wiped out the income tax basically in the state, and so now the three highest sources of revenue are cigarette taxes, Atlantic City gambling, and the lottery. I mean, that's pretty pitiful when the three highest sources of income for your state are cigarette taxes, a lottery, and gambling.
Everything else is high in that state. Car insurance, property tax, hotel tax rates are high. I'm surprised excise tax is one of the number one.
Yeah, well, the sales tax was reasonable, but they keep raising that too, so it's up to like 7%. So yeah, it's expensive to live here, and it's it's not all that fucking charming. I mean, I happen to live in a really nice area, so I'm lucky. But yeah, I mean, lots of parts of New Jersey is shit. And yeah, it's wait. I mean, property taxes are just out of control. Schools are just insane here. They're in like some kind of, let's give them free everything, free AstroTurf on their sport fields and music rooms and all this other crap. They spend preposterous money on nonsense.
Well, you got the same problem.
It is,
it's you got in California. I mean, you've got a little over 8 million people in New Jersey, and as I understand it, you got 800,000 civil service workers. That's like 1 in 10, and I mean, shit. There's no way to fund the pensions for all these people, and we've got exactly the same problem in California. I mean, we're broke, getting broker.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, but the real thing that caused the deficits here was this, was the Kane, got elected, and then Whitman, and, they did this, tax cut crap, the same old Reaganomic bullshit. And you're just like, how could people fall in that same trap again?
Reaganomics provides a very convenient meta-narrative. To people. They think that if they work hard, this system will benefit them, when the truth is it tends to hurt them in the long run and help very wealthy people. It's a shame they haven't figured this out yet.
Yeah, well, they haven't figured out the difference between payroll taxes and income taxes. They haven't figured out the difference between the taxes they pay and the taxes rich people pay. And it's just so fucking dumb.
One of the problems is that Jersey is the most populated state per square mile. So
it's also got the most. It's almost got the most parkland per capita, also, though, which is an ironic circumstance. So I mean, the people are really congested in cities. Is the bottom line. New Jersey has lots of open space, and it just has a huge amount of population in 10 major cities.
Yeah, exactly. It's got a lot of industry, but it has a lot of smart industry. It's right across from New York. I've worked up in those areas, Paramus, Fort Lee, and there's a lot of smart stuff going on. So they make a joke. What exit do you live off of? And you always see girls from Jersey and their accents. But aside from that, there's a lot of stuff that comes out of Jersey. A lot of good stuff. So they're cutting edge there.
There was always like I don't know who owns the title now, but for a while there too, we had the most corporate headquarters like of the top 500 Dow Jones companies or whatever, we had the most corporate headquarters in New Jersey or whatever it was, some kind of bullshit like that. You know, like the biggest